Let's get to it. The role of independent media. The role of independent media. Shout out to Tulsa. We rocking and rolling. We here with John today. Hip Hop Loves, what up? Insanely Insightful, what up? How you doing? Thank you for the support. You already know. Let me know what y'all doing so I can support y'all. You know, it's a two-way street. So let me know. Today we're doing a series starting with On the Scene, discussing the role of independent media. Shout to Tulsa. About to pin it now so you see what time it is and what we doing. And then we good to go. Tahira McKnight, what up? What's going down? Let me pin it. Pin the comment. Let's go. Waiting for John, the CEO of On the Scene New York. He is here. I have some amazing controversial questions for him. You know what I mean? So let's get involved. Let's get right to it. Yeah. Got some event.
Yo, what's good?
Yeah. What's popping now?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
Nigga, slow mo. How you?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there. Getting past this pandemic.
Talk to me. How did the pandemic affect On the Scene?
It only affected in a way where it was more, not too many artists was able to do stuff in public because of restrictions. So live interviews, that kind of was like, okay, it was fun and cool because you actually meet the person and you could feel the vibe. But when it was like IG, it was different. But I'm starting to get used to doing these IG interviews.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely opened up availability because before you got to get people to the studio and all that. So you
Yep.
just got to be a little bit more innovative, stuff like that. Now, before we start, Tilsa got she wanted to really hit home the role of independent media, right? So
Yeah.
I can honestly say On the Scene, which is probably, I was around before us. Yeah, I moved independent. Yeah, work with a lot of independent artists around the country. So first, tell us, how did On the Scene start? Where'd the name come from?
So before it started, I used to run around and hang out with a lot of artists, do a lot of just, background footage for them, be invited to a lot of networking events with them. And I seen an opportunity where it was like, not only am I networking with other individuals like myself, but media people too. So it kind of like dawned to me, like, I'm always somewhere, on the scene somewhere. And it was just like, why not start my own thing? And so I started it up by myself. And this is when I used to like find out about information of posts from other people and repost it in a way, like blogging. Like a couple of years went past, and then it was like I had a couple of other people who seen what I was doing and wanted to be a part of it, and I was just like, hey, sure, why not, And that's when like you start getting more serious about the rules, restrictions,
Mm-hmm.
copyright infringement, certain things like that. So it kind of was a rough start, but
Mm-hmm.
the name was just the basics of me always being somewhere out and about and in public. So it was just like On the Scene New York. Why not? It's
On
like
the
the best
Scene.
name. Yeah, I'm on the scene
Good.
always. So
It's self-explanatory. Self-explanatory. Now,
that's it.
I'm gonna get into a little bit more challenging question, right?
Gotcha.
So, and John, you've been always supportive of Hip Hop Point of View. We went out of town. We've done
Yes.
events. We held us down. So, first let me say I appreciate that because, it's it's easy to start something up, but it's difficult to get a movement going and have people, you know,
incorporate their business with your business without, you know what I'm saying? No
Yeah,
shady, no ego. So you've done that, and I always applaud you for that. Um, so here's the
appreciate
real
it.
question. Here's the real question. Were you making on the scene with intentions to go mainstream, or were you making on the scene with intentions to keep full control of what you want to say and what you want to do?
On the Scene started off as independent and indie. It was a gateway for people to cross over who started out rapping as artists or singing or whatever your arts was. And it kept the same because I felt like as I got more into the field of music and the entertainment industry and how they move, it was like it's a lot you have to keep up with. And I wasn't one to follow certain rules. So that part of the independence of keeping on the scene how it is, indie,
Mhm.
stuck with me. And it was strong and tough at first, but at the same time, I could post what Beyonce's doing. I could post what Jay-Z's doing. I don't really care for it. I feel like a lot of the people who follow us and rock out on the scene, they know that that's not a website you go to look for certain stuff like that. If you want that, you go to Shade Room, Double XL, stuff like that. But we keep it indie where it's like, hey, if you want to hear some new music from a new artist, we have that. And a lot of artists that are famous now, we had their music before they was famous. So I like to keep that momentum of keeping indie to the point where it's just like we was there first, and
Mhm.
how they finish is however they finish, but we have that first footage of how they started. So that's kind of why we kept it independent like that.
Okay, million dollar question, right? A big conglomerate, Viacom, World Star, even let's say a baller alert. They're like, yo, we like the way you're moving. We want to buy on the scene, but we want to make on the scene another platform for the new bubbling artists that are established. We want to just spread out the content to another platform. What do you say?
I'd say no, because we've been out for like over 13 years. It took us a
Mhm.
while to just get the momentum that we have now. And yeah, signing to something bigger and more major sounds cool. Definitely is a breadwinner move to make. But if I do that, who's gonna still keep it indie to the point where it's just like artists still have that platform to do what they want? And for me, it's more of a stay true to what we started, keep it going, and keep always offering just our services to the people who needs it more. Viacom and them, they all follow the same agenda.
Mhm.
BET, Entertainment One, they're all the same agenda underneath all the same umbrella. The reality of it is they just word things different. They all get the same media runs that we've been on, but they word it different. And how they do it is to clickbait and get advertisement and views and stuff. So we don't care for that. We're more about really what's your music about? What made you
Mhm.
want to do music? So we try to keep it just independent. If we sign, we'll
Mhm.
lose a lot because a lot of people will see that, okay, there's no more free website that I could go submit music to. Now, if you want services, yeah, we have services too. But as far as posting, we have a submission page. You just go
Mhm.
there, you could post your music, and if we see it and everything looks right and legit, you gave us the content and the consent to post. So, if
So how
we if
about this? So how about this? What if they're like, because from a business perspective, what if like, look, I'm gonna buy on the scene, right? But is it in your best interest to be like, I can create another on the scene, right? I can call it something else. Let me make some money off that, right? Let them do what they want because that's what I've been, you know, kind of wrestling with. Like, do you take the money that you probably would have, these are once in a lifetime opportunities, right? You take the money, you let them have what they have, right? And you create the same thing because you know the blueprint. You can just give it another name. What do you think?
me personally, I don't feel like it's worth the effort. I've seen a lot of people do it. And it's like the turnout never ends the same. Trying to start something
Mhm.
new means you have to get that fan base back up. You have to generate views starting fresh again when you built something that already has its views. Now, just because it got bought doesn't mean that you still isn't a part of it. Of course, sometimes what they'll do is purchase it, but let you run it still. You'll just be working under them. Now, that sounds cool too, but you're not doing your own thing. Whatever they tell you that you have to post, you have to post.
Mhm.
I don't feel like starting new just because I know the blueprint will help things. And money to me isn't the real reason why I'm continuously paying out my pocket to do these things because a lot of artists it's like nowadays we have so much platforms that artists don't really need me. They don't need
They
none of us. They
they
could
really
just go
don't. Yeah.
they could go straight to Spotify and post and just promote themselves. But the thing
Mhm.
is, they just don't know how to do things. So
Mhm.
us being here as coaches of how to teach an
Mhm.
indie artist to be better, that's
Mhm.
all we're here to really do.
Mhm.
You get to a BET, you got to have 10K followers before they even review something. That's not fair. This person just started. Give them a chance. They don't know that. They don't know how
Mhm.
to give chances. So it's just like you have to really get there to a certain level before you get seen or just more heard of. And I feel like if we sell out doing that just to start back new, it won't be the same. It just won't.
I respect that. I definitely respect that. And one of the biggest pieces is, I'm pretty sure that the bigger platforms, your content has to meet a certain agenda,
Hmm.
right? You could post an anti, racism artist. You could post anti, socialist, artist. But I'm pretty sure those big platforms, they're handpicking who they're putting on their platforms, what message they are, So I agree with that. It does give you a lot of flexibility.
So the reason why they do these things is because genres or categories, as some would say, is a big thing and it's like a big interest. So you have political, right? They
Mhm.
got certain writers who know more about these fields. They put them in that field and expect, okay, a good article that's going to generate millions of views or at least, hundreds of thousands. And when you put different writers in different categories and you create different categories, your assumptions of views go higher because you gain different audiences. You get different demographics. You get people who went from just hip hop to a gossip, or you get people to latest news, which would be like, oh, Johnny Depp just did something. So it's like once you start these categories, you have to maintain them and keep up with it, and you have to find more writers who's in those fields of those categories, which is hard. And I feel like when they create categories and do things like that, it's cool, but it's not because I mean it's nothing wrong with evolving. You could always take a platform and evolve to a higher level.
Mhm.
We've tried it. We tried getting fashion writers to write for us, but it didn't go so well.
Mhm.
So it's nothing wrong with
Why why
evolving.
you why you think it didn't go? Why didn't it go well?
The type of writers we were getting weren't willing to, use their skill to better themselves. Basically, what we do is we offer a platform where it's like, okay, we might not pay you, but you can do your own thing. We give you your own flexibility to do whatever you want. Right now, we got like 63 moderators and contributors who write for the site, right?
Mhm.
They have their own sites as well. But the thing is, when it comes to like them having posts that they want to get out further, it's like instead of emailing me and me having to post it, why don't you post it yourself? And
Mhm.
we found fashion people who does these things with sneakers, they own clothing line, but they're not good writers, meaning like they don't know how to write categories. They'll just post something, put price in like it's a store.
Mhm.
But we're a media website. We're not a store. The
So you
best
kind of
way
want to hear about the clothes, hear some backstories, you know. Yeah.
advertise, don't sell, advertise, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So selling is a different pinpoint. Advertising is letting people know on other platforms what you have, how
Mhm.
to contact you, how to get it. So,
Mm.
that's what I expected. But instead, it was more like they was using the platform to sell stuff. And when
Mm.
people buy something and they feel like they bought it from my site, now it's a problem. I have to intervene with it. I can't deal with it. So that's kind of
That
why
makes
I found the bad writers.
that makes sense. Now we know for pretty much all the independent media platforms, right? Why do you think a lot of these platforms didn't organize and kind of like work together as like a conglomerate? Like, have you seen, like, let's say on the scene, hip hop point of view, We Talking Magazine, um, Battle of the Sexes, or like, have you seen that in New York where there's like a big group of people working as a media, almost a media conglomerate, and you get to one person, if you come in, you automatically have access to like 10 platforms. Have you seen that?
I've seen it. It was a festival thing that I think I don't want to get his name wrong. Morris something.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty big out here in New York, and he did like a college tour thing. He did several different things. I think he put together like a fest where it was like uh, it's like a hip hop fest, and then a bunch of different media outlets was there. Uh, they had their own time section, space, and stuff like that. And it kind of tried to come together. But the thing about New York and media in New York is greed, not money greed, fame greed. Like, okay, I want the best post to, get popular first or, blow up big first. And
Mm-hmm.
instead of sharing that, it's more of a keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if the baby comes into town and you could get interviews with him, he probably looking for more interviews. You
Mm-hmm.
instead of telling other people that that has outlets, you'll just get the interview yourself as an exclusive
Mm-hmm.
versus sharing the love. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like we try, but in New
Mm-hmm.
York, you got to think about it. It's just we're greedy. So it's just like you can get these opportunities, but we would never come together as a conglomerate to share those experiences because one person wants to be better than the next. If
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and there's a lot of situations where there's bills to be paid, right? There's websites, there's a lot of contributors that need to be paid. We gotta keep our posts up, so you gotta have someone who's social media savvy, digitally. How do you make the flyer? How do you present? So there's a lot of people that need to get edit work, camera work. So money is an issue, right?
It
I,
is.
I
It
would
is.
I would I wouldn't expect all of these people to come together and there isn't no money being given. Like
My thing.
it may not be
My
as much as you do to run by yourself, but
yeah.
some type of like, yo, if there's I'll give you a $10,000 20 media run. We split the $10,000.
But this is the thing. So now you're talking about creatives, right? Creatives can reach from a wide range. You got people who run podcasts. You got people who do radio work. You got people who do just small interviews. You got people who do big interviews. You got people who do movie reviews. You got so many different people and so many different multiple types of talents they own. You look at me, you know what I'm saying? I know how to run the camera myself. I could do the audio myself. I could edit the video myself. I could promote myself. I could push myself. I could get out there, speak for myself highly in a way where I could create business contacts. So the thing is, I'm not the only ones doing this. It's a lot of people who have skills. The thing is, instead of being the way we are, if we could all come together instead of trying to charge each other and do stuff like that to make the money or to spend the money, we could just, how can I say it, barter our skills in a way
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like, okay, I help you today, you help me tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And overall we grow because the more that we help and connect with each other, the more we grow because now we're looking at how many people's skills is involved. So if a big opportunity comes up and we're all there, everyone's doing something different or however they're doing it, we all can get money from this opportunity instead of just trying to be greedy, knowing
Mm-hmm.
that you could do everything yourself just to get the opportunity and not share that love or let other people know about it. So I feel like, yes, money is a problem, but I've never cared about it because I've always paid for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Buy the cameras, buy the banners, buy the business cards, buy shirts, buy hats, pay for the flights, pay for the like. So I've done all of these things. And the thing is, people got to realize this is what your business should be about. Before it takes off, yes, this is what your business should be about. Now, of course, services. One thing I could say is services. New York has a thing where services be outrageous with the charge, right?
Yeah.
Um, you got
Yeah.
the public relations, you got the publicists, you got different people who manage artists and feel like we should get the money from the artist first as a budget to
Hmm.
promote them, which is true. That's true. But
Hmm.
if he's a brand new artist, he doesn't sell drugs, got a regular job, you kind of got to work within his means to
Hmm.
push him, to
Hmm.
promote him. Most people don't have that in them to do these things, so they turn a lot of these artists down. And to me, I feel like you could have worked with him with his little $200, but no, you needed 700. He
Hmm.
didn't have it. You know what I mean? That's that's
And
that's how we are.
yeah, and I'm not even going to go into the debate of know your value and how much I'm worth because I think we've been around long enough to see that the charge sometimes it does get you in a certain door, but the charge doesn't necessarily guarantee. Like, right? If I go to a restaurant and I pay $40 for a plate of food, it's guaranteed I'm gonna have a plate of food.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So I would love us to just be more specific about what we're paying for. Like if you come to a hip hop point of view platform, you're paying for promotional videos, and then you'll take it from there. I can't guarantee you what door you in. I can't guarantee you 1,000, 2,000 likes, but I can get
Exactly.
network. I can guarantee you a post,
Exactly.
and I'll definitely keep you in mind moving forward. Now, would you? And we're just brainstorming. Would you charge a fee to be inside the conglomerate, or would you just say, "Wait till we get the money and I'll pay y'all out"?
I wouldn't mind paying. I personally would not. It's just like a membership to anything else. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind paying depending on the price of what they broke it down to for all of us to pay. If
Mm-hmm.
it's reasonable to the point where what I'm putting in is going to benefit us all as we all put in, I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind doing that. But if it's to a point where we're paying and we're not doing much, and I feel like I'm giving you, let's say I'm paying 150 a month, right? Every media site is paying 150 a month. Now, what does that 150 a month together guarantees us? Does that guarantee flights? What does that guarantee us? Entry to radio shows? What does that gives us? You know what I'm saying? What can we get back from paying? Not only are we paying, but we're also giving our services. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like I wouldn't mind, but I would pay. But I just need to know up front what is it we're gonna get back on the end. Because if I'm giving money and we're not getting nothing, you're not, giving us media runs, you're not inviting us to shows, you're not doing these things saying we got a show in North Carolina. I already paid you 3 months of 150. I shouldn't have to pay for my own flight. Together, that money should have been saved to be able to book these flights for us to send us out there, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
where's
See what I'm
my
saying?
where's my money going? Yeah, where's my money going? We ain't just gonna have $150 sitting there idle. I could use that, to better my brand.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Okay. So where do you see what's the next step on the scene in New York?
The next step right now, me and my partner were in talks of podcasts. Now, I'm iffy on the situation because podcast reminds me of radio shows, which also reminds me of like just different. It's so many different ways podcasts can go, and
Mm,
I think like they're a good pinpoint to have vocally versus visually, but I also feel like if you do a podcast, which Joe Buttons and them had, you can make it visual, put it on YouTube, and profit from that. Because if you gain the views, YouTube's gonna pay you. So it's like we're in the works of that. That's one
mm,
of the steps. And the next steps is we are trying to open up to managing more artists. Right now we have two artists we're managing. We're just looking to manage a little bit more artists, not too many, but enough where it fits our budget for the artist and what
And
we
if you
can
don't
do.
mind me asking, can you give us a quick synopsis of what managing an artist entails? What does that look like briefly?
So brief, keeping it easy is booking the artist shows, getting the artist, radio runs, getting the artist his own listening parties, paying for the artist to fly somewhere, making sure that the artist is good, and also other networking events, bringing your artist there so that he can network. So we do those various things briefly, but we also do more. That's just, the main thing we do for the artist. Back end is, promotion online, sending it out
Mhm.
to like 50, 60 different websites. We have like over 1,000 emails that we email it out to as a email blast. We also, just do podcasts. We connect with DJs, and if they're dropping a new mixtape, we'll ask and see how much a slot is because we're willing to pay for it, and we'll pay for that slot just to have that artist on there. It might not go great, but we're doing these things just so that you can have the publicity that you need as an artist to get out there. So we offer a lot, but briefly, we just really want to push the artists further with the networks of the people that we know and just get them out there.
Yeah, that's dope. Putting it to work. Putting it to work. John, tell them how to get to you, man. Tell them how to get in contact with you. You gave them a lot of information. How do they get up?
So the site is called On the Scene NY, onthesceneny.com. Uh, it's everywhere. You can Google it. We're on Twitter, the same thing at On the Scene NY. Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify. We're everywhere. If you really want to get in contact with us, you can email us at info at On the Scene NY. Or if you feel like we don't respond fast enough, you can hit up the website, check out our submissions page or our service page, and contact us through there. We respond faster because that's the money right there.
Yeah,
But
you're constantly updating. Okay.
follow us if you're an artist watching this. Reach out. We're willing to help anytime. We don't charge thousands of dollars to do promotions. We're not raping people out here like most PRs and publicists are, but we're willing to work with you. And if you see yourself being motivated in the craft that you like to be a part of, we're going to be here to help push you. So on the scene ny.com, at on the scene ny everywhere, and yeah, holler at us.
John, first of all, bro, we appreciate you, man.
No problem,
Um,
man.
on the scene has been holding us down for a minute. Good to see y'all rocking and rolling. There were some ideas that you had that I was waiting for. I don't want to blow it up, but the idea you had told me was going to be super dope. But um, the whole wave that you were talking about fell back. So
Yeah.
I was looking forward to, and I would just say web series. I was
Hmm.
looking forward to that idea, which was fantastic, but it fell back. There hasn't been that much engagement in that particular scene,
Yeah.
but got some dope ideas, so keep doing your thing.
I mean, if you really put it that way, web series is definitely dope to do. The thing about web series is now that's where cost really comes into play. So cost comes into play because it's more. You got to have cameramen. You have to have some type of audio. Someone has to edit the video and know what they're doing. You have to find people, friends or whoever, that's willing to
Recruiting actors,
recruiting
yeah.
for free. So they have to get paid for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be in something that's going to last a couple of episodes, and then you got to market yourself. You got to push yourself out there. Find someone who's willing to promote this. I've seen a lot of web series get pushed to what is it? Like Roku Fire Stick. Some of them been on like Amazon. Some of them been on a lot of not big name streaming sites, but
Well,
they
reputable.
you see what I'm saying? So it's just like if you could do it and put yourself out there, and the team that you work with is willing to give their time for this, by all means. But right now, for us, shit, I don't know who's gonna take off from work just to come shoot like a 3 hour skit where it's only gonna be a half-hour episode online.
And,
You know what I
and they
mean?
got to read the skit. And they got to read the skit and memorize the skit. So
Know how to
it's a
play without
process.
looking at the exactly. So web series is one of the biggest things you could focus on, but it takes a lot, and it takes a team. You know, it takes a strong team to really get in there to know, oh, Saturday, all day I'm gonna be doing this. We're gonna be reviewing things. If I fuck up, we're just gonna have to do 10 more times. I have to have 3 different changes of outfits because he's shooting in the day, he's shooting in the night. So it becomes a big thing where it's just like, okay, you have to be focused. If you're not focused to do that, and you can't get people who's around you to be focused, it's hard.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Shout out to Maine, man. Hood Republic Outfitters, Maine. Get with John from On the Scene. I know my man Maine is doing a lot of things right now, documentaries. He's doing fashion shows. He's doing
Nice.
showcases. So, Maine, holla at John. Get to him.
On the scene, and why?
There you go. There you go. So, John, appreciate you, big bro.
Appreciate you too.
Shout super love to We Talking Magazine, man. You know Tilsa.
Yes, Tilsa.
She got
Shout
her
out.
idea. Yeah.
Tilsa.
She get into it. She got her ideas. We wanted to really focus on what independent media provides, you know, some pros and cons, some ideas you have, and what independent media is looking to do. So we're going to do a lot of interviews. We're going to talk to some doctors about how media affects men and women and how independent media can change that. We're going to talk to publicists, some publicists we're talking about, some PRs.
Yes.
So we're going to do all that. So we appreciate you taking the time, champ.
All right, later, man. Enjoy.
All right. Hip Hop Point of View, we out.